Put it this way. You ever feel like your mind is all over the place? Well, guess what? It actually really is. And it's not just a play on words. Your mind is everywhere. Your brain is in your head, but your mind is all over the place. Your brain is used to focus in on that. If you only focus in on the life that you think is important because it's you, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your known acquaintances, and such, and all the rest of it is just not important and it's all a bunch of garbage, you have to realize those people are people too, and they're part of your mind. They're in your mind. It's the way you look at those people that causes your relationship to them to be the way it is. And on a global scale, that's what's happening. Most people don't care very much about their fellow man outside their, their community, maybe their race, maybe their family, maybe their whatever. But a lot of people are like that. I'm not wrong about that. If there's a right and wrong, I'm not wrong. And I'm not trying to say yes or no for anybody, because there are a lot of people who aren't like that, who do and are starting to show compassion towards more people other than just the few people they know in their select few of what they consider important. But what I need to say is that during the fact that your mind is everywhere, if you only pinpoint it on yourself, you'll only live the life that you have in front of who you think yourself is. If you let it go, you can be everything. And once you actually make that connection, then you can pinpoint it to everything. Doesn't mean with your physical body you can. With your emotional, energetic, and spiritual bodies. They are mobile. Especially if you put your physical body still. Your energy body, your spiritual body, I would even say your consciousness itself is, your consciousness is everywhere. But your little attachment to it is all mobile. Because when you go, you're conscious of it. That consciousness is everywhere. So it would just be your spiritual energy bodies and stuff. Those are words we're using. But, because I don't want to throw in astral and causal planes and stuff like that, because then people get all woo-woo. But we have to have something to explain them with. But anyway, the pinpointing of your life and not being able to dig yourself out of your problems is what keeps everybody stuck in the rut. If you quit pinpointing what, even if something horrible happens right now, yes, it happened right now, okay? Just quit focusing on it. Acknowledge it. Do what you can to remedy the situation that you can do. And if not, move on. Okay, let's just use this virus. The COVID-19 thing is still around, I guess. But I haven't even really heard anything of it for a long time. I see it every once in a while because other people hold on to stuff, and I know that. I gotta try to think to myself that other people don't hold on to stuff, and maybe it'll go away. I know that's how it works, but it's still hard to do when other people around you are giving you the obvious signs that they ain't listening. But, you're not going to get better overnight. Let's think about the fact that, okay, we've been doing a lot of harmful things to ourselves, our environment, our community, our world. If we start cleaning it up, it's not going to just be, bam, overnight, and this so-called virus is going to disappear. But if everyone started healthy practices, the heavier people, the obese and overweight, the angry and unhappy, the depressed and anxious, those people, if we all start doing healthy things and thinking healthy thoughts, it won't happen overnight. But I guarantee you, it will change the world. One by one. You can't have world peace without having individual peace. And then you have family peace. Then you have neighborhood, community, social, country. And then you have world peace. But all you need is it within yourself. Because if everyone has peace within themselves, guess what the world is? A world full of peaceful people. If you look for peace outside you and you're like, this is wrong and that's wrong and this is horrible and this is okay, because I say so, then guess what? You don't have peace within yourself. You're looking for world peace when you're not peaceful. First step is you. If you need help, I'm here for you. There's all kinds of stuff you can look into. Be selective. I promise you I won't steer you wrong. And if I do, drill me on it. Grill me on anything I say. I want people to. I want them to test me so I can be tested. You are all my teachers now. Every person I see is my teacher. Everything I see is my teacher. Every moment is my guru. Every moment. God is that invisible thing, whatever you want to call it, soul, spirit, blah, blah, blah. God is bigger than that, honestly. But for what we are, I don't want to downgrade it. For the biggest word that I can use it is God, because people think, oh my God, that's such a big thing. And I said it without that was an accident. I said, oh my God. But people use it like it's such a horrible thing to talk about it, but it's not. It's what you are. You're part of it. It's everything and everyone, and it's not just some cliche. Like I said, we've been saying all along. It's true. You aren't at all a human being. You are this time, right now, in this moment. If you're hearing this, with your human ears, if you're a dog or some other animal, you don't know what I'm saying. Maybe a few words here and there if it sounds like lunch or beg or sit or stay or want to go for a ride. But other than that, human beings, if you hear this, you're one right now. And that's okay. It doesn't matter if you call yourself a human being. I mean, I like this guy. I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head. I wish I could. But he says beameism. Trevor starts with an I. The guy's Trevor Isley, that's it. But he's a good guy. I like it. But he just has a depressing kind of tone of voice. And he says, I don't walk around smiling and stuff like that because that's not what it is. Well, because that's not what he is. And that's okay. And I'm sure he is, other than that on his videos, he's probably a lot more loving and caring and whatever, or just compassionate seeming. Everyone's gone through their things, and he's definitely gone through his things, and I can tell, because he talks about the dark night of the soul a lot. I have, a couple times, but I don't see the point of dwelling on anything negative. You realize negative is dwelling or talking about it, but most people can't talk about things, and most people who've had a spiritual consciousness shift can't talk about those things without getting sucked into them. It's just, I think he's pointing that out for the people that need it. Well, me, I'm all around. I've been everything, and I'm not afraid to say that I've been everything. I've been crucified as Jesus. I've been every single thing you can think of. I've been. I use that one because it's one of the biggest ones. People think it's a huge deal, but Jesus being crucified is no bigger, not even one minute bit bigger than a child who was killed by his parent, or a one person who was shot by another person who was acting under laws or rules by their government that weren't moral. If it wasn't right, you have to know it wasn't right. You can't go under the mask of it was my law or my duty. If it's an immoral duty, then you're immoral for doing it. You can't just say it's okay because I was told to. Following a bad order is being a bad person. Stand up for something. Anyway, I don't want to go too far into that, but I'm just saying that what you focus on and what you pinpoint your mind on is that. Like, the reason that I've been those things is as soon as a person has died, I feel it. And I don't overwhelm myself with it anymore because it's something normal. It happens every second of every day. And everyone knows that, but their mind isn't as connected to the life of every being on this planet as mine. If it is, they're not saying it. I mean, I know it is, but they don't realize it the way I do. And that's good, because most people can't handle this dark night of the soul kind of thing. Well, right now, I'm over the dark night. Now I'm in the dark day, because I've seen the light, and I'm in the light. But at the same time, people don't want to hear that, because they're not feeling it. They're not there yet. And I have to take my time and go slow, because if you do it too fast, they get angry at you. It's sort of weird, but I understand. Like my exes, I mean, me and my son, I feel like I'm the best teacher for him right now. He spends time with me, and we can go out in the woods, and I feel so rich. I'm a millionaire, sitting there basking in nature, looking at the pond and the animals and everything around me and loving the world for what it is. And my son is starting to feel that way too. Now, if he has to go hang out with his other side of the family who thinks that, being on social media, playing video games, getting drunk, trying to find a significant other, and spending your life doing that and stressing, trying to make some money in the rat race, getting a nice house with a nice thing and still being unhappy, it's smart. Then I'm sorry, but guess what? I will not change who I am. I love who I am, and I'm sticking with me. Because, darn it, God loves me for this. God came to me for this. God showed himself, itself, herself, all selves to me for that reason. Because I was able to open my heart so wide, it spun around backwards and opened it, and it swallowed itself. I've swallowed the world into my heart. And I love it. I love it. Everything that's around. The I plus the cross. I love it. Everything. But anyway, that's it for now. I don't want to spill my heart out too much. I could go on forever. I feel like I should be on stage talking to people, not for recognition to Dan, but to help people who need it. I don't want a cent. If I get a cent, I'd use it for something positive. I'd use it for people who need it. And I'd hate to try to weed out people to be like, do you really need food? Or are you going to use this money and go get some snack or waste it on some, item you don't need? Because too many people manipulate things and just overuse the system, which, fine, everyone deserves everything, but think about how you're getting it, and think about the people that deserve, need it, in a way. Nobody needs anything, but they all need help mentally. Not in a bad way, they're mentally wrong, or have an ailment or illness. But I would think that almost living in the normal everyday world thinking that it's the be-all, end-all is sort of an illness. Living in this world thinking that living under the corporate political structure is how it's supposed to be. Anyone stuck on that mind frame is actually in for a very rude awakening if they haven't awakened to it yet. It's not just the fact that everything that we knew has changed and not going back. It's spirituality is happening because we can't go backwards. We can't take steps down. We're not going to go back to using cords and all that stuff. We're going to go to using everything with our mind. Not wireless. Yes, wireless, but without cellular activity, without needing to have this 5G, all this kind of radioactivity. We can do these things with our minds. We're doing it already. We just think we have to use the rocks and the trees and the wood and manipulate things like that. But we don't. We just have to come up with a better way. And there are many better ways. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. We're just now getting under the surface and starting to get into the inside. And when we do that fully, as a whole world, or as a group of many people who actually understand what's happening, this will shift everything. The tiny shift has happened. I put it in place a couple of years ago. I know I did. I was there. But I put it in place a long time ago, the beginning of time, so that everyone can see it. And I've seen that, but I can't put words to the patterns that I saw as me, Dan, understanding it. I can understand it from the I that is me, as the oneness. And if you understand what I'm saying, you're getting there. I mean exactly what I'm saying, and I'm not confused, like flipping my tongue all crazy, just spitting out something. I mean everything I'm saying. Maybe it doesn't come out perfect, but I know I mean it. So, anyway, until next time, I love you. Peace be with you. And be compassionate and caring to everything you can possibly be caring to.